Hello, it's me, Sarah, and I've got a huge confession to make. So we have just had a lovely Christmas, Get Friggin Christmassy with Geezers of Gear podcast, and I forgot to record half of it. So I hope you enjoy the last hour of it. We had some really wonderful people that came on to join us to raise a glass. There was some good chats. I was very silly. We weren't recording on Riverside like I am now. We was recording in Rome. And I looked down, making sure everything's being recorded, and it's got on my little icons at the bottom, stop record. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't press anything, but it must automatically be recording. So I was happy, we were chatting, Marcel didn't say anything, and not that, it wasn't up to him. It was up to me to press the record button. And I'm thinking, well, it must be doing it. And then all of a sudden it got into 50 minutes and my little brain went, no, there is another button. So I looked down at other icons and I'm looking, and it's the first time we've recorded on the Roam. And I looked and there it was, hit record for video. So guys, everyone that turned up at the beginning, people were coming and going. I do apologize, really. I feel very, very, very silly. But I do apologize for not recording it all. But the last hour that we have, I hope that everybody enjoys it. Thank you again for everybody who showed up. Thank you for all the messages for people that couldn't come. And I wish everybody a very, very happy holidays, festive season. And here is to a fantastic 2025. Cheers.
Thank you for joining me for a special episode number 284 of Geezers of Gear. Get Friggin Festive. That's what we're going to do today. This episode is brought to you by Mainlight, a national dry hire rental provider specializing in supplying the latest lighting and stage equipment technology. Their extensive rental inventory includes moving lights, truss solutions, control consoles, LEDs, and an array of weather-resistant IP65 rated fixtures perfect for outdoor venues. Whether for theater productions, outdoor stadium events, or TV film broadcasts, Mainlight is the partner you trust with the gear you want. Strategically located across the U.S., their 4 key locations include Teterboro, New Jersey, Wilmington, Delaware, Nashville, Tennessee, and Las Vegas. Discover how Mainlight can equip your next event by visiting mainlight.com today to get a direct quote through their comprehensive online ordering platform.
Inspire your audience's imagination with Elation's Pulse Strobe Series. Designed to bolster creativity and deliver breathtaking kinetic intensity. The Pulse Series empowers designers to create dynamic lighting experiences that captivate any audience. The Pulse Series synthesizes mesmerizing lighting experiences with power and precision, allowing designers to create rhythmic, heart-pounding lighting effects with effortless control. Elation's Pulse Series.
Brought to you by ACT Entertainment and Ultimate Support. ACT Entertainment is North America's leading supplier of the entertainment industry's principal products to professionals across 6 different end markets, including professional lighting fixtures and lighting control equipment, audio, video, fiber, and power distribution, cables, connectivity, metalwork, custom manufacturing, and design. With ACT Entertainment, you get the industry's top performance products, as well as service, education, and engineering support to bring every entertainment professional concept to reality. Visit their website at actentertainment.com. Ultimate Support Systems is part of ACT. For over 45 years, Ultimate Support Systems has provided musicians with unique support solutions that are crafted with unparalleled innovation and quality. Ultimate Support has always been determined to invent, design, and manufacture the smartest support solutions and music accessories in the music industry. And that commitment to innovation continues to this day. Be sure to visit ultimatesupport.com, where you can learn more about their solutions for content creators, touring musicians, recording studios, and more. From acoustic treatment to best-in-class speaker stands. Ultimate Support has premium accessories you can count on.
No, what was the deal with that? That was a Clay Packy thing that I think happened like right as I had joined Group 1 or something like that. It was obviously a huge deal. They had them all gold plated.
Yeah,
like
no, I remember.
40 of them.
Well, before you jumped on, we were just talking about the gold BI that they just launched like last week or whatever to celebrate how many BIs they built or whatever. And I remembered that job with I think it was 50 or 100 golden scans.
Yeah,
for his the disco in his house or whatever.
It was the Golden Scan 3, I think, was the one that had just come out then.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's
So
hilarious.
how many of us have had that Golden Scan 3 in rigs and been like, what the hell did I put this in here for?
Yeah,
It had a
exactly.
hell of a triangle gobo.
Oh, yeah.
We used to have a pool on the Dillon tour at the end of the night, the big frickin' ballyhoo of how many mirrors would go flying across the stage.
No.
Because that double-sided tape never really held them.
It's funny at LDI, Andrew Gumper does the lighting museum thing around the bar area, and he had, I think it was a Super Scan Zoom from Clay Packy, and I upon closer inspection saw that the mirror was actually just a shiny piece of cardboard that he cut out to slap on there because you can't find the mirrors anymore.
That's awesome. That's very Andrew improvising.
Yeah, but he'll make it shiny enough.
Yeah, it's ready for rent, right?
Got that
Patrick,
permanent infusion in it.
I think you were at a demo that I had to go do for Disney where they were buying lights for something. I can't remember what. And there was a Golden Scan 3 or whatever it was. And I had like a RoboScan 1220. And the designer would go, I think it was like, I don't remember who it was, but the designer would go, okay, now draw me a diagonal line from up here to down here. And I want it to go in 9 seconds and I want it in blue or whatever, right? And so the Golden Scan would go like 1, 2, 3, 4, like absolutely smooth and beautiful down here in the nicest blue you've ever seen in your life. And the RoboScan
would shake
go
like Katharine Hepburn's head in a helicopter.
It was the Matrix. It would
it'd go like it'd go this way on the way there, and then this way on the way back. Like it'd go above on the way there and below on the way back. And I remember the designer just looking at me, going, "No, I just want a straight line." Like straight lines are boring. Who wants a straight line?
Anybody can do a straight line.
Because the only thing I remember is us drinking beers on Main Street, USA at 3:00 in the morning, going,
As you
my
do.
God, nobody gets to do this. It was like the most, forbidden thing at a Disney property.
Yeah, it's true.
And somebody had cracked out a 12-pack. It was like, let's go.
Keeling, were you at Obi's when we did that yes thing with, I think again it was RoboScan 1220s with Jonathan Smeaton?
Well, I don't think it was Smeaton. No, what I did,
No, it was
I did
Smeaton,
yes.
this one.
Yeah, no,
This one was
I was with
Smeaton, the one that
Stephen,
I'm thinking.
Stephen Bickford early on where we did yes.
I just remember because Peter Moore was programming for Smeaton, and I just remember John Anderson, the singer, going stop, because Peter was going crazy with these round circle gobos, and I just remember John Anderson throwing a complete fit, saying, "Circles are evil. Circles are evil. No circles. I don't want any circles. Circles are evil."
No cones, right?
Yeah, no cone gobos. And Peter
Cone gobos.
only knew how to program in cones. So
All right. Well, there you go.
No, he didn't.
No, once again, another amazing designer, Stephen Bickford. I don't know how many of you folks have ever had a chance to work with him. I'm sure Fedo, you know Stephen, but
Yeah.
Jesus, I did a couple Michael Jackson commercials, the Cars with him, and a few other tours. And Dylan, yeah.
Yeah, he designed a Neil Young tour that he gave me.
Yep.
To LD. So yeah, and I did a Cars, back at Obie's. Did the car? He designed the Cars, and his thing was wearing his T-shirts inside out at the front of house while he was running the board. I'm not sure why.
Oh, that was his good luck thing then.
That was
like on
his thing.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he didn't do that. We did that was I did the Cars with him in '87, and he took the entire rig and painted it orange. I don't know if you remember that one at all. That was the last Cars tour.
Unfortunately, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Has
we
anyone
did
seen that
with, like,
Cars, the Cars thing that's on like Netflix or something, whatever it's on? Somebody's playing a
Just came
Cars
out. I wanna see
documentary
it.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I want to
Has
see it.
anyone seen it? No.
What's it on?
There's a Cars documentary on one of the streaming things. I don't.
It's
remember
on Rick.
which one.
Yeah, it's based. I think it's on Rick Ocasek, right?
No, but which network is it on?
Oh,
I don't
I'm
know if
not
it's-
sure.
I don't know. I don't
if
watch
it's
the
Netflix
Pixar
or-
movies.
Yeah,
Pixar
right.
movies.
Michael, you'll remember this one. How many of the Neil Diamond fixtures did you guys have left at the end of the company? All the purple stuff.
Oh Jesus. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Gee, Feta, you were gone at that point, right?
Yeah.
That was Marilyn. That was a Marilyn Lowy design, correct? Yeah. Jesus, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
I'm
seeing
not sure.
fixtures and truss, and
You're
it was like, "What's all that for?" And they were like, "Don't touch that. That's all Neil stuff."
Yeah, you're almost gonna make me tear up because I think of Patrick Stansfield back then.
Oh,
God bless him, and obviously a lot of our fallen men. Patrick was just an amazing character, and what an ambassador to our industry, huh?
Yes, sir.
Speaking of which, and I'm not sure because I haven't seen anything on social media yet. Does everybody remember Sarge from LSD Nashville?
Yeah.
Yep. Sarge passed yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't see anything about that on the media, but I got a call from Steve Lorenz about it. So, and way too freaking young. Sorry, never even got to Geezer State.
Yeah, so unfortunate thing. I saw it on the line too. It's like, man, we got too many of us falling these days.
We're getting to that age. Yes, we are.
Well, I tell everybody every day I'm above dirt. I'm a happy camper these days. Right?
We
Well,
haven't
it's not
lived
like
the
we did
healthiest
anything that would
lifestyle.
shorten our lives in any way.
Back in the day, I used to basically equate our life to that of the average fireman. The roadie was like your average, age was 40, right? Because we've actually had a lot of brothers back in the early days. Back in the 80s, we had a lot of them fall to, either cocaine habits or different things and overdoses. And today, we're just finding it to age and to health issues and so on. So we're all very, very fortunate to be above ground and to be talking about our what I like to say our easy life compared to some of the other people. When I say that, I don't say that the fact that it is easy. I know how freaking hard all of us work. First in, last out, right?
But don't you think one of these health scientists one of these days is going to figure out like why, Keith Richards and Nikki Sixx and John Wiseman and
right.
like some of these people just
They've pickled themselves.
Well, it's going to turn.
they pickled themselves.
Cocaine is a preservative.
And I'm well, I don't know how many of you guys are, but I'm celebrating my 5th year of sobriety because of liver conditions, and that's turned into pancreatitis and so on. So I'm struggling with it every day. And at the end of the day, 5 years ago, I was 60 pounds heavier than I am today, and I'm lucky to be above ground. And I took it for, face value of all the debauchery that I did enjoy back in the days, and now it's hunting me. But again, I'm still extremely lucky to be in this business with all of us and enjoying our lives.
Well, good on you for getting through it.
Yeah,
That's a good word, debauchery.
Yeah.
It was, right?
Yeah, we can
There's been
define
some.
our entire careers with that half of that. So,
Been guilty of a lot of it.
hey,
That's
how you feeling, Cosmo?
Great.
Good, good to see you. And try to get down there and see you. We're down in February, so I'll be in your neck of the woods. When do you start ACDC?
In March.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll definitely get together, get some dinner.
Yeah, I saw you're coming, so and you said so that would be great to see you and the show.
Yeah.
How many shows
yeah.
are you doing with ACDC, Cosmo?
We have 13 U.S. dates, and then we go to Europe, and I have not seen the entire
Europe
schedule
again.
yet, but I figure 18, maybe 20.
So Europe in the summer.
Yeah.
Fun.
We did 24 last summer. We didn't do anything in Scandinavia. We did. There's a lot of, even in the States, we're doing 13 cities, and we're not doing a show in New York, San Francisco, Denver. I mean, lots of places, Seattle. So I'm hoping we come back in 2026.
Very cool.
How's
Very
your
cool.
son's racing season going there, Marcel? Season's over, right?
He didn't race this year. He's coaching and doing all kinds of training stuff, and yeah, I mean he lost his funding this year, let's say. So he's working like a working stiff. It's funny because I read an article today that said now karting is a multi-millionaire's sport. Karting is no longer a grassroots racing thing. Karting, and so half the kids that he's coaching are like one of the kids. I think actually one of the kids he coaches is in this article. It's a Washington Post article that came out yesterday or today or something. And one of the kids he coaches is the kid in the article. His dad owns a bunch of dating sites. I forget what they're called. I've never been on dating sites, so I don't know. But he, he's a gazillionaire, and they're paying millions of dollars for karting, go-karts.
Wow.
Maybe it's an opportunity for him to get new sponsorship.
Yeah, that's what he's always thinking. He's like, if I hang out with billionaires, sooner or later, it's going to rub off.
Some of it'll stick, right?
Yeah, it'll rub off at some point. But yeah, I don't know. It's just the sport has become a weird sport. But
Well,
and
auto racing was never for the poor, so.
No, it never has been a poor person's sport, but it's never been like it is today, where it's a billionaire sport. It's like our next step in Europe was supposed to be Formula 3.
Mhm.
Formula 3 now is about €2 million.
Wow.
And like just 5 years ago, it was €500,000, which is still a lot of money. But €2 million is unachievable.
Well, Geordie and a couple of companies in the UK sponsored a guy in the British Touring Car Championship.
Yeah,
which is sort of saloon cars, right? And it was about 300,000 Jack used to get, which would run the whole season, maybe a bit more.
Started that way.
Yeah, precisely. That's the point.
It ended up becoming 800,000 to stay competitive.
Yeah, but GT cars in comparison to what my kid races open wheel is still reasonable, when you compare them. But like everyone's talking about this kid Liam Lawson, who's just gone into F1, and how he's grassroots, made it up through all the series and blah, blah, blah. Well, his grandfather, we happen to know him because we raced against him in Formula Ford in Europe a few years ago. And his grandfather gave him €150 million to get through Formula 4, 3, 2, and 1 to get into Formula 1. So €150 million.
Even all the Formula, even the talented Formula One drivers, all have had some kind of. Hamilton had Mercedes backing. Perez has got all the Mexico money. Max had Dad's money, and it was fun. Do you know what I mean? They've all had some kind of serious support.
No, it's insane.
Yeah,
but it's worse now. It's worse now. Yeah. Like we have a friend who's in IndyCar right now, who his name is Kiffin Simpson. His dad paid $40 million to get him into IndyCar.
Man, back when I was 18, it was not even close to being that expensive when I raced. Not even.
No, it's never been like this. You
This,
know, and by the time you got to IndyCar, you were being paid. You weren't
yeah,
paying to get into IndyCar. You
yeah.
weren't paying to get into Formula One, but that's all changed now.
I
So
mean,
anyways, you know,
my
we're not bitter. He's just trying to make a living off of it. Like there's in Miami, they're opening tracks right now, like club tracks for these mega rich people who are racing their Lamborghinis and stuff. And like the Formula One temporary track that goes around the football stadium in Miami is now becoming a permanent track, and you can buy memberships there for $1 million. So all these guys with their GT3 RS and their Lamborghini and their whatever are buying memberships there. And so he's talking to the people who run that track to go in as a coach slash co-driver when there's races and stuff, because these guys, they all run these pro-am races. So he's the pro, they're the amateur. And so there's a lot of money to be made in doing that. And like somebody else said, you know, you're rubbing shoulders with billionaires. Why not? So he's good with it. He understands his place in life. You know, dad's in the lighting business. I can't afford to be a race car driver.
or a race car supporter. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, it's funny because my girlfriend's nephew, she's British, and her nephew is a very hot prospect in the UK right now. And he's 15 years old, and he recently was signed by Arsenal. And not only do they pay for all his schooling, all his training, all his coaching, all his everything, but they're paying him and his family. He's got a Nike sponsorship. He's set for life, and he's 15 years old, and they've never spent real money. Like his dad has got a soccer academy or a football academy. And so he's trained him since he was like 1 year old or whatever. Right. But it's different. You know, they've got this support thing where they raise these kids up through the very most junior leagues all the way up into the pros. And you don't have to have, you know, millions of dollars to be a pro.
And wow, who's been? Yeah, but isn't soccer in the UK and Europe comparable to what we do with football here? I mean, by the time kids are in high school, they've already got their college path now with NIL things or whatever that NFT or whatever that name, image, likeness. I mean, you know, good Lord, by the time a kid's a senior in high school, if he's good and outstanding, he's got the next 8 years of his life. You've already got pro teams recruiting him by the time he gets to be a freshman or a sophomore in college. Yeah. Very similar to, I think, what the soccer system is, where the racing,
there's some support.
That you're
there's
talking
some built-in support.
Well, yeah, and what you're talking about with the racing, that's elite. That's like kind of saying I want to be, you know, a horse race person. I mean, you got to have a budget to start with in that field. It's not something that is readily available for you in a school program. So
in the soccer world, they're picking them up younger though. They're picking up 7, 8, 9. So I support and quite a supporter of my local team, but we aren't at the top. But they come and scout our 7 or 8 year olds at the big clubs like the Arsenal, Chelsea's, whatever, and will come and pay for $10,000 for one of our kids to put them into their academy. But they go through that academy.
I'd be willing to bet it's very similar here with football. I live down the street from Chaminade Madonna, which is a school that has ranked as a state champion and had huge stars come out. And they already are talking about the freshman players that are going into this school as being stars. And they're just in their first year of high school.
Yeah, but so Ben's right though. That's
15 years old, 16 years old
in soccer.
But they could.
Soccer.
But 7 or 8. But
we've also got. I mean, soccer is now popular in the States, but football was the major support, and you had all of the little leagues and the young kids and the peewees, and you know, same thing with baseball. Just a different society. I was just trying to make the difference between the correlation between soccer or race car driving. I'm not sure that's the same as race car driving and say being a polo person, if that's your sport. You need horses and all that crap.
I don't think any of us can afford polo. Thank you very much.
I don't think many of us can afford car racing either at the prices you guys were quoting. That's a very expensive sport.
It's funny because here I live in Wellington, which is like they call it the cold weather equestrian capital of the world. So you've got like Jeremy Jacobs, who owns the Boston Bruins, lives here. Bill Gates has a house here. Bruce Springsteen has a house here. Like all these guys who have these kids who do dressage or show jumping or whatever it is. So, anyways, I was sitting at a restaurant having a drink at the bar one day, and sitting talking to this guy next to me, and what do you do? What do you do? You got any kids? Yeah. What do your kids play football? No, my kid's a racing driver. Oh, so I start crying about how expensive it is to be a racing driver. And he goes, Marcel, have you ever tried to field a polo team? And I said, no. And he said, I spent $35 million last year. And I said, okay, you win. Sorry, you win. Whole different level there, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and Wellington, not for nothing, is a little hoity-toity horse town as well. It's not being a native Floridian, I remember when Ocala was a little 2-bit Western town that was the horse.
Yeah, it's different now.
Florida, and now it's like the Southern Kentucky.
Big town, small town. That's 35 mils a lot to pay for what's going to end up as glue.
Point taken, Patrick.
That team sucks. That's all you're left with.
Hey, everybody, I got to go to another meeting. Good seeing everyone. Have a great holiday.
Merry
Christmas.
Good seeing you in Vegas, too.
Cheers. Merry Christmas, all.
Cheers, Gordon.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bounce out here too. You guys take care of yourself. It's good checking in with everybody.
Good seeing you, Mike.
Marcel, Sarah, thanks for putting this together. It's great.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
Anytime.
Nice meeting you, Michael.
Fun. Awesome. You guys have happy holidays, right?
And you.
All right. Same to you, mate.
See ya.
Take care.
Yeah. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
So Ben, seriously, how many Mac 1s did you sell at LTI?
You said on the podcast.
Under warranty.
It's still under warranty. You only launched them last year, Gordy. Not even a year old.
I meant V1s. Yeah.
Oh, V1.
V1's still under warranty. Oh, by the way, did anyone see Cosmo? You probably saw the Verilight. The VL
Hive.
Hive 141 or 151.
I saw it
dumbass
too.
name, but anyways.
It was a very novel.
Was it a fixture or was it a console?
No, it's a fixture.
I think you're right. What you said in your sum up, though, Marcel, on it from a competitor point of view, is it the finish? Is it where we're all going to end up? No, but it's the journey to getting there. And I think
it's the journey, not the destination.
Yeah. And I think it's we all sort of sat around and talked about it, and I think everyone else will have done. And it's just where can that go? That'll be interesting to watch.
It's an interesting.
As long as yours isn't 120 pounds.
Sorry?
As long as the Martin one isn't 120 pounds like the Verilight one is.
Is it 120 pounds, that light?
Yep.
Serious?
120
Did they throw out
pounds.
any prices?
No.
Because that's the other thing.
Nothing
They're saying
I
it's made in. They're saying it's made in Texas, but how expensive is it going to be? Like, I don't know. My gut feeling, like if I was a designer, I'd be looking at it going, yeah, it's cool. Do I need it? Like, where can I use this thing? Is it something I got to have? I don't see it.
Well, ultimately, for a lot of that stuff, it's about making a compelling case to the client, and does it do something that you can't get any other fixture to do that makes it worth a premium? And I think it's an interesting concept. I didn't see the thing. Patrick, did you see it?
Yeah, I did, and I saw it with Marcel actually.
Yeah.
And
right.
Was wildly unimpressed by it. I think I was the only person who was kind of being honest about how I thought it was kind of lackluster.
Right.
But
you're not the only person I've heard say that, mate.
It's interesting, and I liken it to GLP originally taking that leap to put an LED light engine in a moving head, and we had all been begging for that as a holy grail for the longest time, and get away from discharge lamps, and they did it, and we all went, yeah, not good enough, because it wasn't bright enough to make the impact. But someone had to break that technology and take the hit, right? And I see this as being that, when they've got the intensity, it's very cool, it does something unique, but it's ultimately too resolution enough right now to make the impact. Like, if you're going to sell it to theater designers because it can do amazing fire and water effects and everything, they're going to look at it and go, yeah, it does, but goddamn, it's 8-bit and really choppy. So that doesn't look
and I
good
can get
in theater.
a projector for
I'll
half
just
the
stick with a
price.
twin spin.
Well, that's the thing. You get a
you
projector.
can do a fire effect with just about every fixture out there. No one's going to go, "Oh, but that one's a digital fire effect."
Yeah, precisely, and I think
And,
that's
you know,
gonna
even
be
in
the
the-
thing. They're I applaud them for pioneering the way with this technology. I think it's going to be very cool in 5 years.
It reminded me very much of the DL1 and DL2, where great
Well, I was gonna-
concept, poorly executed.
Which
Do you
fixture?
remember the Medusa?
Yeah.
John?
Oh yeah.
I felt it was a continue on from that, is what I felt.
Well, that was actually, ironically enough, that was precisely what I had said to Marcel about it. Because I was talking about how the technologies of these things, and Medusa was one of those things, leads to other stuff. So one of the little known things about the Medusa project, which ultimately became Icon M, which had a grand total of, I think, 32 units globally made, that had a timer in it that was able to, they had to figure out a way with this thing projecting digital imagery to index the gobos perfectly together, so that when you stopped something, they would stay linked. So just like indexing gobos in general. And they figured out how to basically make all the other lights in a chain follow the first guy, and they would sync to him. It was sort of like a poor man's Genlock, if you will, for video broadcast. And ultimately, that was the technology digitally that they used in the M box to synchronize the QuickTime videos across multiple M boxes. So, whereas the Icon M, you could say failed and just never really made it to market, the technologies that came out of that R&D went on to pay dividends for them later on. And I think we're going to see a lot of that with this technology.
That's yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's a good assessment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting that there was a new media server at LDI too, also called Hive, which was a little confusing.
Yeah, that was
that Nigel Sadler has, who originally had Green Hippo or worked for Green Hippo. So
interesting. I didn't see that
the
one.
video people really like that.
Yeah,
Did
you've
anyone
got
notice?
Nigel Sadler from Green Hippo, Dave Green from Ava Lights and D3. It's an interesting team there and a really nice product, to be honest. It's looking a bit interesting at Hive at the moment.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was very well received.
Yep.
Yeah, heard that.
Did anyone notice how many new moving light brands there were at this show that I'd never seen before and never heard of? Like, there was one funny story. I was on, one thing funny about living in South Florida is you fly back with lots of interesting people from an LDI show. So on my flight, there were Roby people and there were Chauvet people and there were whatever, Inner Circle people. And so I had Deanna from Chauvet right in front of me. And when we were waiting to get off the plane, I said, "Hey, how was your show?" "Oh, yeah, we had a great show, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Hey, who's that company, Volux? Like, I never heard of them before. And I saw this company, Volux. Who are they?" And she says, or she didn't say anything. The guy across the aisle from me goes, "That's me." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, who are you?" Like, I've never seen or heard of this guy before, right? So I end up talking to him all the way through the airport. And I come to find out that, Nick Freed, who I basically brought into the industry, was best friends with his dad, Dan Fallon, who I know very well. And so he brought this kid into Inner Circle. He worked at Inner Circle for a few years and then went and started his own brand and imported a bunch of Chinese stuff, and off he went. But a nice booth, really well designed by Michael Meacham. The programming I thought was pretty good. I don't know
I
if anyone
saw the
else has a comment.
programming.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. Like it was, and it's got 12 gobos, and then it would go through the different gobos, and like the voiceover and the programming and the time coding and stuff I thought was pretty decent. But there were a bunch of those. Like there were a bunch of sort of no-name Chinese brands that looked really good at that show, I thought.
Did
To be
anybody
honest, I think
see the MA3 clone in Fine Lines booth?
Yeah, we talked about that
saw
earlier.
that. Yeah.
Wild. Yeah. Well, John Featherstone was just telling us that he just did a show over in UAE. You tell the story, John.
Yeah, in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, and the consoles were the only way I could tell you could really tell the difference was they were 3-pin XLRs instead of 5s. It was an uncanny and disturbing level of detail to the quality to the cloning of the boards.
MA2 though, right, John?
MA2s, yeah.
Interesting. What did they do for the screens? I mean, we know the big issue with twos right now is that the screens have gone to shite. So
we loaded up the show file we done in the States with everything, including lock screens, and it ran just fine. So they're sourcing the screen somewhere.
Wow.
Same aspect ratio, same level of touch control. Chris Herman, who was programming, was like, yeah, I mean, other than the buttons sound a bit different, he's like, you can tell the difference.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because I know a lot of guys who are still kind of not trying to use the 3. And I'm like, dude, where are you going to go? Because there's not a whole lot of places left to go with 2.
Right. Well, and one would imagine sooner or later MA are going to stop supporting it. It can't be a sustainable business model for them.
I think
really.
technically they are no longer supporting it. They're just having to package it with the GrandMA 3 update software as it moves forward.
Right. I had dinner last night with an LD from Vegas, and he's learning free. So he said, "What's the point learning 2? It is going that way. We've got to work that way."
That's very true.
Yeah.
At this point, everybody's shifting over to it. I mean, it's at a point where it's at least the software on the 3 platform is stable enough where you're not overly concerned. But now it's just the frustrations of certain features of it, which has been the same way on each release that they've ever done.
And the other problem, though, is historically between the MA1 timeline and the MA2 timeline,
everything else.
The MA3
Will the
timeline,
Chinese copy?
it's going to be up and done before it's a fully functioning, viable desk.
Right.
Yeah. The
Do we
MA4
think
will
the
be out.
Chinese will catch up on desks? Do you think the Chinese will catch up on desks?
I'll tell you what, Gordon, 5 years ago, I would have said no way, but today I would say absolutely. I think they will. Absolutely, because they didn't
You think it's a big enough market?
Software.
You think it's a big enough market?
I think it is. I mean, certainly, Ben will back me up here. The biggest stand in Plaza this year was Beams. And actually bigger than the Roby stand. And
but that's
they are buying the market. Yeah.
But is the market bigger? The software development and the cost of software development is huge.
Yeah.
So from a point of view of it's a crowded marketplace with 2 or 3 really strong brands and some really good challenger brands already there. I just don't think there's a.
Yeah, but I think if a good Chinese manufacturer like an Acme, a Golden Sea, one of the big ones, if they were to produce a desk that looks similar, feels similar, does a lot of the same stuff, works as well as an MA2, for example, or an MA3, and is $25,000-$30,000, and then
Quarter the price.
their model is going to be that they charge $1,000 for software updates. That's how they're going to do it, because right now, like that's the argument with MA, with Avo, with any of these companies, any software company, they're going to say we charge so much because we give you free updates. And there's some logic to that. It costs a lot of money to support those consoles over the years. But I think that that's a model we're going to see. We're going to see somebody come out with a $25,000 kick-ass concert touring console with all the, because I mean, I will say it because it's true, but I think MA, some of the costs for some of the peripheral stuff is crazy. You know, the MPUs and stuff like that, where you open the unit up and there's nothing to it, and it's thousands of dollars.
It's basically a software license box. Yeah,
it's a software license box, right? And so,
Oh, never.
I that's where I think that could go. But you know, you're right. I mean, like the problem is getting guys like Cosmo and whoever, John Featherstone, anyone to program a new console or to learn a new language is difficult.
And you've got to get market adoption really quickly as well, because
whatever Chinese manufacturer makes it, they just got to get Bob Gordon to push it and promote it, and then it'll be industry standard.
Well, I spent some good time with Bob Gordon, and I think the ship has sailed. You know, we're gonna have to find a new console importer. Bob ain't doing it this time.
But you've got to get.
But
you can swap in movers, you can swap in and out of those, fine, but you've got to have 100, 200, 300, 400 desks in all the shops. Then, do you know what I mean? Pretty damn quick, because otherwise, you know, you're not going to get out there with one or two quickly.
But what if it was a similar console, but it had full cloning functionality and all that kind of stuff, like where you could put show files from an MA3 into it,
and you can do three for the price of one.
Yeah. Huh? I see that way, Marcel, as well. I really do. And
I think it's going to happen because the market is big enough, I believe.
Yeah. It's all fun and games until the manufacturer, the original one, starts putting in little bits of code that find the copies.
Yep.
And
do what?
Injecting
and crash
nonsense
it?
into it.
How is Avo doing lately? Yeah,
it works.
Yeah.
We went through a big problem with this stuff on a global festival client, and MA was directly supporting us for a long time, and it all came to a problematic head at one point, where I had an MA representative that flew all the way to, I think it was like Bogota or something, for this huge festival we're doing. And I get the call, I have a problem here. I can't support any of this, and I'm terrified to let anybody at the office know, because I got here and it's all fake gear. And so now they've sent an MA rep to solve the software issues of a full complement of Chinese product that's knockoff, but using their software. And he's like, I don't really know where to go here. This is a problem.
Yeah, that can be a bit problematic.
So it's a big welcome to Colleen and to Bob. Hi guys.
Hey,
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Bob's on a show. Stop it.
No, I'm having my favorite tiki bar.
Oh,
Cosmo knows where I am.
I know exactly where you are.
And where are you, Colleen?
I'm at home, so I'm in Hendersonville, Tennessee. So
time off?
Yes, I got home 3 days ago. So yeah.
So nice
From
to
what?
see you.
From what show?
I was actually so I also other live events, I do other random things. I was down for Universal Epic that's happening in Orlando. So I'm setting up for what's going to happen in January.
Hey, Bob, mute your mic.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
You might have to say
That is very loud. I have no idea what you said, Colleen,
Yes,
but
please say
I'm
it.
sure it was amazing.
Exactly. You got to repeat that.
But welcome.
Please say that again, Colleen.
I was down in Orlando setting up getting ready for the rehearsal process that's going to happen in January for one of the live shows at Universal Epic, so the new theme park that's opening.
Oh, cool. Fun.
Yeah, it's It's very. I helped them in the pandemic in Beijing, and so it's really interesting to watch a theme park come together. It's very, very different than concerts.
When does it open?
The actual opening date is May 22nd. The soft opening, I believe, is March something.
Well,
So
me and Cosmo
we
want to come
have
to the soft opening. I'm just letting you know. Me and
we
Cosmo
have
are
to
coming.
we have to have one of 4 casts on stage ready to go for audiences by March 1st.
Wow.
And currently we don't have a theater.
Good times.
Currently the theater is still being constructed. So it's a very interesting process to deal with, like the county and like all of that coming in and being like, you can't do this. And why is there holes in the stage? It's like, well, those are for CO2 vents. Oh, you can't have that. No. They just, it's okay. Nobody's going to get hurt. It's that kind of thing. And they're like, oh, that's against regulations. It's like, no.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, it's going to be okay. I promise everybody it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Who here
It's very-
hasn't done that? You know?
I have to tip out everybody. I have a lovely wife who's enjoying a birthday today, and we're off to dinner. Happy Christmas, Merry Holidays to everyone. Hope
And
to
you.
see more of your faces next year.
And you.
And I hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday season.
Happy
See you later,
holidays.
Martin.
Bye.
Yeah. This time we're going. Good night, all.
I'm going to say
Good
aloha
night,
Gordon.
great
for
seeing you.
Night, bye,
Gordon, you're going to
Gordon.
bed?
Gordy,
Bye.
Night,
Merry
Gordo.
Christmas.
Gordy, it's
Bye.
not
Good to see
your
you
bedtime
again.
Bye. Bye.
It's early for Gord. What the
That's
hell?
the
What happened to Gordon? Jesus.
Well, it looked like he was drinking milk, but I'm sure he wasn't drinking milk.
Oh, no,
I'm
hell
sure it was a
no.
White Russian.
Yeah, it wasn't milk.
Yeah, that sounds.
You
more
don't
like
smoke cigarettes with milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's because of Gordon I'm actually here. So thank you, Gordon. I know you've gone now,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank
Gordon
you,
did
Gordon.
introduce us.
Yeah.
Gordon's another one of those. He's another John Wiseman and Keith Richards. You know, he's pickled. Like the man, the man can do whatever he wants to do, apparently.
John
Ben, how well do
Wiseman-
you know Gordon? You must know him well.
Yeah, legendary. Yeah,
Legend.
there are stories of Gordon. Some which are for sharing, some which aren't.
I've been with him on most of those stories, sadly. So
John Wiseman isn't as old as Keith Richards, is he?
Nobody knows how old Wiseman is.
Well, no, Keith Richards is 80. John
Right.
is like 66, I think.
John isn't even as old as us, Ellen.
81. Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Keith Richards' birthday, I think, is today. I think I saw. So
Is it really?
yeah.
So
I think
is
it's either
he what,
Monday
81 or something?
Yep, he's 80. I'm gonna Google it right now because I believe it happened. Yeah, it's today. It is Keith Richards' birthday. He is
81.
officially 81.
Amazing.
Blows
Happy
my
birthday,
mind.
Keith, if you're listening.
Yeah. That blows my mind. I was talking with Marty Hom about that because Marty was the tour manager, I think, for the Stones this year, and he was just talking about the exercise routine and stuff that Mick Jagger went through because, you know, Mick running up and down the ramps and like crazy stuff at 81 years old. Insane. Just unbelievable. Blows my mind.
I have to stay with it. You know.
Well, the funny thing is when you get to be that age, you don't realize, I mean, it's harder obviously to do it than when you were 31, but you don't think you're old.
Yeah, but I'm 60 and I don't know if I could run back and forth up and down those ramps.
Yeah, but
like
he's
he
been
is,
doing
you know
it
what I
his
mean?
whole life, so.
That's
Yeah,
true.
there's no other way. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pro. He's a pro.
I tell you, I really want to be where Bob is right now because it looks lovely. Look at it.
What's that?
I want to be where Bob is now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's
Well,
in a
we all
tiki
want to be where
bar.
Bob is every day.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, you
And
can turn your
Ellie,
mic
You're
on
on
now.
mute.
Oh,
You're on
The
mute,
show.
Bob.
Bob, you got to turn your mic on, buddy. Microphone.
He said, you just told me to turn it
off.
You got me trained already. Thank you.
I know.
Anyway, we have the sailboats outside here. This is a beautiful place to be.
Oh.
This is my favorite tiki bar. Let me show you the puffer fish up top here. And this place is just awesome.
What's a tiki bar without puffer fish?
Right.
Yeah, well, this is called La Marianas, and it's where all tiki bars have gone to die. When they've been torn down in Waikiki, somebody says, "I got pufferfish with spikes. You want them?" Oh yeah, I want those. I want those. There's like a working waterfall in the back. There's all kinds of tikis that are from the 1920s, and I think the oldest thing here is late 1800s from the sailing ships. But it's not that old. It was built in the 40s. The guy had a boat out here offshore, and he wanted a place to drink with his buddies. He started with a Quonset hut and kept building it out. And
That's
the states
wild.
tried to condemn it, take it probably 20 or 30 times. And he managed to avoid it. But the string lights on the roof were like just stapled in raw. You know, there's a lot of things that would be pretty questionable at one time.
Hey, Bob, I've never asked you this, but there's a guy I used to be friends with.
You're not friends with him now?
I haven't talked to him in 15 years, but I was friends with him, and he's an audio guy, and he was married to Don Ho's daughter.
Wow. Wow, who would that be? No, not offhand.
And he lived somewhere up on the mountain that's the volcano, whatever that, Diamond Head. He lived somewhere up, like part of the way up that mountain.
I'll look for that. Now, I don't want to spill this. My lunch is
blown off completely.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Chicken wings?
This is fine. My lunch just came. This is coconut shrimp.
Ooh.
And
Bob is the master of show and tell.
Anyways.
Now he's just
we're in the right place at the right time.
Are the coconut shrimp
it's my
good?
lunchtime. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm not sure. Allow me to let you know.
Yeah. They're
very much so.
Yeah. Good for you. So, anything else? Have we missed? Cosmo, you got anything between now and ACDC?
Work-wise, no. Just conferences between Live Production Summit and NAMM.
We're going to go to the soft opening of the Universal thing with Colleen. So
yeah, come on down.
I'll let you know when that's happening.
Well, I'm going to see Colleen in January. We already made a
Hey,
date.
Cosmo, I want to know about the conference at Lidditz. How was that, and what do they do, and why did 1,200 people go there?
Bob, you got to mute your mic again.
The conference at Lidditz, why did 1,200 people go? I mean, I don't know. They said 1,200 people went. I didn't count.
Okay.
It's
I saw your Facebook. It looked like about 1,150 actually on your selfies.
And you took a selfie with all of them, Cosmo. Yeah.
Picky.
It's obviously it's a bunch of panels. I mean, it's a gathering of old friends. There's a lot of younger people there. It costs money, so I mean, not just a ticket and hotels and flights, and it's Lidditz. It's not like some major city, so
yeah,
it's hard to get to. And
did you fly to Philadelphia and drive?
The last year I flew to Philly. This year I flew to Harrisburg.
Okay.
Harrisburg's 30 minutes. Philly's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's the same. I connect to Atlanta anyway, so it doesn't matter. Last year I stayed in an Airbnb. This year I stayed in a regular hotel. The conference is good. Some of the panels. It's a mixed bag of panels. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't interest me particularly, and there's stuff that does. And they want me to be on panels, so we'll see what happens next year. It was very, for lack of a better word, it was a little too woke. And what I mean by that is I think they tried to and here's the thing, that having said that, the younger people at the conference pushed back on that
Wow.
the wokeness, which kind of made me feel good, because the one thing they were talking, like the first day of the conference, they were talking about, having the idea of bringing a therapist on the road, as a crew member, and everybody's like, no, we're not going to bring a therapist on the road. The one thing I will say about the conference in that respect, besides the technical, and there was like meetings about security and tour management and production management and lighting roundtables, but the one thing that I thought was kind of cool is bringing awareness to not just mental health, but like physical health, and trying to make the road a bit better. And it's only awareness. Like I said, we're not going to bring a therapist. Even people were like, we're going to have 18-hour work days. The show is going to happen, and I think that most people realize that the young people aren't trying to change the business to where you do one show a week so you can get a good night's sleep and not travel too hard or work too hard. I really think that most of the people are, it's like one person, she said, when I work 18 hours and through 3 in a row, I wear it like a badge of honor, because it's hard work and we did it. So, that I kind of got from the conference, that it was, it's the young people are pushing back and want to work hard, and they realize what it takes to put together a show. But there's also the awareness.
The thing that I found really good about the conference was that because a lot of these schools that these kids are going to don't tell them about, you're going to work 18 hours, you're going to work 7 days a week, you're going to give up your family life, and it's a big commitment. It's not just a job. And then these kids get out on a tour and they're like, oh, this isn't what I signed up for, this isn't what I was told. So I did like that about it, and a lot of the conversations, telling these new people coming into the industry that this is what it's not all glitz and glamour, this is what it really is.
Yeah, and I mean, as I said, I found most of the young people I talked to were aware and willing, because they had that much passion about doing it, I think that oh God, she's a very young tour manager, but she said I think that the industry needs to recognize that crews need to be valued and not expendable. And I said, I agree. That's a very good way to put it, that crews should be valued and not being told they're expendable unless they are, because in the old days when I started, it was like there's 5 guys behind you that'll take your job in a minute. And the thing is, though, if there's a guy behind me who's going to take my job because I suck, then so be it. But
then you should lose your job anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're expendable if you don't work hard and if you suck. But I understand what she was saying, and that made a lot of sense.
Cool. Interesting. Very interesting.
So
they're going to do it next year.
I'd like to add to this conversation. I had a friend of mine.
Go on, Bob.
I have a friend of mine, Hideaki. I'm sorry, I'm a little froggy right now. But my buddy Hideaki used to work for me. He became a professor in Texas. And he had, he was doing finals with his kids where they were supposed to come in and, light a show a little bit for him in order to prove they could do it. And when he went there, he saw that there was a Ryder truck that was parked. And he basically said, he pointed to the Ryder truck and he goes, okay, Susie, you're up. The last guy, he's just now put the last of the gear into that truck. Now you're going to open that truck and pull everything out and set it all up all from the beginning and light your show and then return it to the truck as he did. Anyway.
That's great. That's a life learning lesson really quick.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a big question these days of what the universities are teaching people, and are they really ready for the kind of jobs that are out there?
I don't think they are. I think they're in the university. They're not being pushed. They're not, it's not like the old days where, you start working in a lighting shop like a C Factor or a Bash, and you're just thrown out there and it's a sink or swim, kind of thing. Now, everyone is, triggered and emotional and not wanting to work as hard. It's not everyone, but a lot of them, so it's really
on the
hard
other
to find
hand, we keep running
good ones now.
On the other hand, we keep running into we've got these Pat McKay diversity and design scholarships that John and Light Switch have generously supported for the past 2 years. And on some of these interviews, these kids are like, well, I have a rental company and I own, 3 Grand MAs and I drive up and down Oklahoma and I'm the only person in the state that has them and I can't rent them out fast enough. And you're like, yeah, he knows, what he's doing. It's, some of these kids are amazing.
No, there's a lot of really sharp kids out there, but piling on a little bit to what Craig said, like a lot of times when I'm hiring people or when I'm interviewing people, you find that like a lot of these, and I hate to use the word, but a lot of these woke concepts come up during interviews where it's like entirely focused on how much vacation time, or it's entirely focused on what's in it for me, not what can I do for you, but what's in it for me. And so, yeah, I mean, some of that stuff becomes a bit challenging. However, I run a completely remote business that really celebrates people having free time, free space, the ability to pick up their kids, drop off their kids, go to the soccer game in the afternoon, all of that kind of stuff. So, I know we're pulling away from that now. Like a lot of companies, who did I read about today? Another big company is pulling all their staff back into the office and stuff. And that's a bit tragic because I think that's one of the things that I loved during COVID is that people could work from home. And, I happen to believe in that. For every company, no. For my company and a lot of companies, yes. So, hi, Jeff Rabbits.
Hey, hi.
Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Marcel.
Yeah, we're the same way, Marcel. We're brick and mortar offices, but we have a lot of people that work remotely as well. We don't care as long as you get the work done. But I think one of the challenges we see is unrealistic expectation alignment from particularly higher education. Kids that come to us because they've been told by their professors at university that they're going to make $100,000 coming right out of school. And we've had people that come to us and say, I'm not interested in the job if I'm not designing shows. And it's like, well, then we're not interested in hiring you. I'm really sorry. We just can't do that. And not appropriate skill sets. So people coming to us with bachelor's qualifications in design that don't know how to draft in 3D. People coming to us who have told their professors they want to work in concert touring and have been taught the EOS. Nothing wrong with the EOS, but if you want to work in concert touring, it's useless learning the EOS. If you want to go work on Broadway, that's fantastic. But and I think so many students don't grasp the notion that most higher education is a fee-for-service business. And they're going to tell you what they think you want to hear to get your money. And if you think this is like going to middle school or high school, that there's something symbiotic there, this is a business proposition. If the school isn't delivering what you want, you should go to a different school. Because this is a bit, whether you're on scholarship or not, somebody is paying for you to be there. So I think helping students understand that they should be educated consumers of their education experience would be really super helpful.
Exactly.
Well, it's just the education system is just leading into the entitlement of some of these kids where, we see it a lot with techs now. Like you have show guys that, oh, you're not doing a show, come into the shop and help with the shop. Well, no, I don't work in the shop. That's beneath me. Like, no, it's not how it works in the real world.
Yeah, good luck doing a show without decent people in the shop. If you don't have decent people in the shop,
it's true.
Yeah.
There's a guy in the UK called Lee Dennison. Some of you might know him. Really good guy. He used to go around and do talks with White Light when he worked at White Light, and he would go into further education colleges, and he would sit down. The first question he would ask, tells his story. He'd sit down and ask people, "Who am I? What have I done? And what am I about?" And the students would go, "I don't know." And it's like, you can go and find. It's the attitude change, right? You could go and type his name in and say, "You've got an industry expert who's coming in to talk to you and give you guidance, give you career support." You don't know who you're saying. Well, you can go and look him up and find out what his background is or anything like that. Nobody would do that, and so it's just the mental.
Ben, it's even worse than that because I'll interview people.
Proactive,
I'll interview people and I'll say, tell me one thing about my company, and they can't.
Right.
But yet when I was being interviewed by people, I would know everything about their company, and
100%. Before the internet, you were looking it up.
It's even easier now.
Yeah,
you can literally on the bus on the way to your interview, 10 minutes, Instagram,
know
LinkedIn,
everything you need
Facebook,
to know.
You can get past.
It's the information age. Ignorance is a choice.
Right. Pat McKay always used to say, if her name was spelled wrong on the cover letter, the whole thing went in the trash.
Damn. No wonder I never got a response from her.
Funny.
wondered why
So
she
Jeff,
never
what's new in
responded.
LA?
It's hot today.
Oh,
You know, we just never know. But in about 3 hours, it'll be down to like 40 or 50. It's just we're in that period of time where you walk out the door in the morning with a heavy jacket, and 3 hours later, you're stripping it off. So, you know,
Come to
it's a
Chicago,
hard.
Jeff Rabbits. We'll show you about a heavy jacket, mate.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's
I did my
86.
time in Chicago.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know you did. I know
it
you
was
did.
86. It was 86 even by the water here, Jeff. So it's got to be hot where you are.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, all good though. Not much happening. Things are, beginning to wind down. I've got a little bit more work between now and the holidays, and then I'm turning it off.
great.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Taking a break.
Is anybody doing anything like incredibly amazing between now and the end of the year? Work wise?
Man, New Year's Eve entertainment's gonna suck.
Yeah.
True. Sounds like it.
Well, last night, Eggshell Lighting did the grand opening for Cirque du Soleil's first theater here in Honolulu.
Wow.
It went over unbelievably
Congratulations.
well. Yeah, they brought all the gear. They bought it, from Vegas and to do the show. But we did the red carpet, the interview space, the lights to the sky, and I also debuted the Minute Une, Photon and Dice on their entertainment stage after the event, and it all went really, really well.
Very good.
What show is it?
It's actually called Awana. It is a written and modified for Hawaii production.
Where is it?
It's in Waikiki. It's in the Waikiki Beachcomber. But actually, yeah, and it's certainly the largest approach for a theatrical type show that's ever happened there.
And it's in there. They put one of their own structures up for it on their property, or is it in the theater?
There was a previous theater for John Hirakawa, The Magic of Polynesia, and that audience was starting to wane, and they really stripped the theater and turned it into, it's them all everywhere. It's plenty of branding, and it's not just a theater where something's happening just this week. Now we're on a 2-day turnaround, and we do Andrew Schultz. I guess he's a comedian. Goes in on Friday, show Saturday, and that'll be the last.
He's
for this year.
hilarious, by the way. You should go see it.
Yeah, it's a great show.
I will indeed. We just did Joe Coy for 3 nights. That went really well. And our calendar is looking very good for next year. So
Good for you, man.
I'm proud of everyone here.
Who are
What was that?
who are the designers for the show? Do you know who did the lighting?
I think the designers are most of the Sturk camp.
Right.
Give me a second. I'll get back to you.
That's all right. I'll
Somebody
look it
told
up.
me,
I'll
somebody told me
Google it.
Luke LaFortune is back. Like there's some new show going into Vegas or something, and it's Luke designing it.
Well, Luke redid.
Like I thought he was
Mystere.
gone.
No,
Is
he
that what it
just
was?
redid Mystere, and he's redoing O. I didn't hear about a new one, but he did just redo 2.
But wasn't he like I thought he retired or something? I haven't heard Luke's name in ages.
He basically did, but they pulling him out of retirement. It's kind of a cool concept to bring the original guy back to redo.
Yeah,
it.
very cool.
Yeah, it's a
very
good
cool.
idea.
I like Luke. He's an interesting dude.
Phenomenal.
Well, considering that they get royalties, I think he may have first right of refusal.
Ah.
Well, I
That's a point.
can tell you that Benny Kirkham was the programmer for the show.
Oh,
here.
cool.
Oh, very cool.
He actually came out here. We spent a lot of time, off and on at the last Vegas, and then he finally comes in my neighborhood, and neither of us hasn't much time. And I wouldn't see him again until the recent LDI. There we were again. So it's kind of funny that he came into my neighborhood for 3 months, never had time. It's just the way it goes.
And how is the show?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
It's tonight will be the first paying audience.
Oh, cool. Based
Last
on
night was all
Hawaiian
about press
culture.
Yes.
Bob, Bob, have you seen the picture from the dinosaur thing where I think Seth Jackson posted it, where there's like 6 guys and they're all holding your coffee, but you're not in the picture?
Yeah, I did see that post. I was pretty honored. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good picture. Great picture. As always, you were
Good
traditions.
I don't know the lighting designer. It says his name is Hugo Mercier Bossany.
I know who he is.
There you go.
You do?
I think I actually met him. I think he was at the Formula One thing that I went to with Craig Burrows in Miami a few months ago in April.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was there. Yeah, I think I remember him telling me about that show, in fact.
Well, there you go.
Hey, speaking of going, I got to head off.
Yeah, I think we all do at this point, don't we?
Yeah.
Don't wish to be the one to break up the party.
Happy friggin' Christmas, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Good guys. And a happy new year.
Merry
It was good seeing everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Just to a great 25.
Balloons.
Bye, guys. Be
Aloha.
healthy.
Balloons. Where'd we go? Here's it's gonna be me and you when
I can't make
And then
the
there were
balloons happen. I don't know
sister-
the buttons.
I can make balloons. Look at this. Wait, how did I do it? How did
I
do
don't know.
balloons? Fist bump? I don't know. How do you do balloons?
I don't know. You did it before. There we are. You've done wave. You've done confetti now.
I don't know.
I don't know how to make it happen.
Me neither. I can't do it.
Oh well.
Wave your hands again.
Sarah, go to bed.
I know.
Patrick, go eat dinner or something.
It's too early for that.
I know,
Have a
it's
very,
midnight
very
now.
Merry Christmas, guys. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
You. Oh, look, I got a
Merry
thumbs up.
Christmas.
Enjoy.
AVL Media Group, connecting the world's most trusted audio brands with professionals like you. From their large diaphragm studio or versatile handheld live performance mics, Aston microphones deliver clarity and precision. Lab Group and Power amplifies the world. From commercial installs to the biggest tours, Lab Groupin delivers. Turbo Sound's new Manchester line array, from intimate venues to major festivals, the perfect balance of power and clarity. From the M32 to the groundbreaking HD96, Midas consoles bring exceptional sound quality to regional bands, touring artists, and the largest productions in the world. Wharfdale Pro, engineered for portability and installation. Easy to transport, quick to set up, and available in powered and non-powered versions. Tannoy's commercial speaker range offers indoor and outdoor solutions in black or white, in-ceiling, on-wall, pendant, and innovative column speakers. With dynamic audio control, Tannoy's steerable arrays provide precision and adaptability, perfect for demanding acoustic environments. AVL Media Group, your source for industry-leading audio solutions.